Hi, it's Valerie. I accidentally turned it on while I'm trying to set it up. That's so funny. Well, I'm here to talk to you about a phenomenon that has happened in my practice. And that is that once I have a woman and we've identified that her husband might be autistic, sometimes she stops coming. It's a very big ask to go from blaming someone to understanding them and reevaluating everything you thought was true. If you think you have a neurotypical husband and all of a sudden you're realizing, what if it's autism? And it's hard for people to make that reevaluation. It's like, wait a minute, he's not a narcissist? Wait a minute, I don't get to be the victim anymore? This is an actual thing that he has no control over. And I think that most women, when they come to terms with it, they have to take a break from seeing me, because she thinks she's coming to work on herself, but she can't really stop talking about her primary relationship. And so he's in the room with us, but he's not present, if that makes sense. And so once this dynamic is identified and she's looked online and she's figured it out that it's there, it's operating, and then I'll say, we'll be talking and she thinks it's not about him, but she'll say something and I'm like, oh, and I just mention one of the traits of autism, and I said, oh, that sounds like preoccupation with objects, for instance. And she's like, oh, because see, then everything, well, not everything, but often there are things that are happening that are not something to blame, but something to understand. And it turns her on her head, like her world is upside down. And see, the thing about autism is, especially in adults, it's not like what you think. Maybe you hear the word autism and you think it's a nonverbal child in a corner somewhere rocking, right? Well, that could be a presentation of autism, but sometimes you don't know. You don't recognize. He was never diagnosed, or maybe incompletely diagnosed or partially diagnosed. And so it's really an ongoing realization for her. She's been so dysregulated emotionally for so long that it's hard. It's hard. They just leave my practice. They stop because I won't let them. Let's just say I just keep bringing it up because it's so important to recognize. And this is not an easy thing. It really is really challenging for the woman in my office. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to understand. It's a lot to shift from a certain way of thinking to another way of thinking. It's like the earthquake. It's like an earthquake in her life. So I have a lot of compassion for that. It's not easy. And that's what I want to talk about it today. Okay, bye.